Okay, here we are with the Shark 250 watt motorcycle mp3/FM radio. I took it apart because what I believe was happening was the unit was overheating, and while riding I noticed that it would go from my mp3 hookup for my iPod and it would jump over to the radio. And this is classic symptoms of an amplifier that would overheat. You would just see it having erratic behavior for the most part. So I got the housing of it. This is an aluminum housing for it, and I milled out some holes on the top. I have 8 holes that I milled out, and I even did some on the bottom to help with all the heat going through. This is the inside of the unit. And just to troubleshoot, while I was having the issue of it overheating, I noticed that when it was acting erratic for the most part, the volume would go up and down and switch over from MP3 to the FM. So at first I kind of thought it was the remote that they give you that you connect here. It has that phone piece, the jack that goes in here. So of course I pulled over on my motorcycle. I put it back on the iPod. I was playing the iPod and I disconnected this piece. And of course the problem happened again. It reverted right back over to the radio and the volume was going up and down. So hopefully by making just some air holes, I won't have this problem any longer. It was pretty simple to get off. It was basically the 2 screws on the side, on both sides, and on the front plate you just have 4 more in each corner. The pieces for the buttons here, they'll just slide right off, but the buttons, as you can see here, are still intact on the front. It's kind of hard to see, but it would work either way if you had those pieces on the front. Trying to make sure I'm remembering to tell everyone everything about this. It's a great system. It sounds awesome, but I was out on a ride and it was about 85 degrees or so, and I had it cranked up for about 3 hours, and that's when I felt this being very hot. And without these holes being in there, the only air that can get in there to dissipate the heat would be right here. And you figure you have your speakers connected to at least 2 of them. I don't even have the subwoofer hooked up, although I could. But check out my other videos on here if you just want to see how this got milled out. The video probably isn't going to be all that great because I was using my phone at the time. But if you have any questions, just hit me up with questions. I'll be happy to answer any that you have. This should be easy to go back in. Just slide right back in. I don't know if you can see the slot here, right on the corner. That's where the circuit board will slide right into. And then these holes on the side, those holes on the side are actually meant for these brackets to hold the housing right here and here. What you'll have to do is slide this straight in, slide it right in through there, and you're going to have to reach in with something. Maybe even tape it to like a popsicle stick because you don't have all the room in the world, and just line it right in there and put your first screw in, and then you should be able to reach in with anything at that point to lift the other side up and mount it right back in place. So once again, this is for the Shark 250 watt amp radio/MP3 hookup. And I'm sure I'll have other videos when I put this all back together.